Most people are familiar with 360 imaging when they use Google Street View, of course, when you go click a location on a map, go down to the street level, and look around in all directions. But 360 imaging isn't just limited to images. Many of the cameras available today allow you to shoot video. Some of these cameras stitch together images from several cameras to form one omnidirectional images, while others use like a mirror to take the panoramic image and focus it onto the camera itself. And while 360 video has been around for several decades, it has not yet become pervasive. And I'll come back to why the acceptance of the 360 format is dependent on virtual reality headsets. Since this is the VR Meetup, I won't go into too much history of virtual reality. I'm always happy to skip over the Virtual Boy. But as we know, we passed through the cell phone revolution, and now we have access to these high-resolution screens and the high frame rate gyroscopes that make the Oculus Rift and other virtual reality headsets possible. But the question is, and now that Facebook has acquired Oculus and Project Morpheus is coming out for Sony, and there's all these mobile device platforms available for virtual reality headsets, the market has been validated, and we should see headsets coming out in the next year or two. But how are we going to view live action content in the future? This is where Total Cinema 360 comes in. Adrian Vasquez de Velasco and Craig Gilbert co-founded Total Cinema 360 a year and a half ago. Both are writers, directors, and producers who previously studied here at NYU and believe that 360 video is the future of live action content. They both saw the rise of the Oculus Rift and realized that virtual reality is the optimal way to view live action content in 360. But at the time when they founded the company, there was no video software available to view this 360 content for Oculus or virtual reality, and they had no programming experience. So that's where I come in. I've worked with New York City startups for over 6 years and on software and hardware. And as soon as I heard Adrian's vision for the company, I immediately jumped on board and saw the excitement. Nicholas DiMichele rounds out the core creative team as our 360 sound director when we realized how important sound is to the immersive experience. So together at Total Cinema 360, we create, produce, and distribute live action 360 narratives for virtual reality. The narratives include films, video games, live event reporting, and other interactive experiences. We believe that virtual reality will change the way that we view live action content, and that 360 video will be the primary way to view live action content in the future. I'd like to show you our showreel now. Gotta get it on the right window. So, there we go. Kittens, I know. So this is our Total Cinema 360 Oculus player. For the longest time, so you can move around and look around in all directions using a mouse and keyboard. This is for the longest time how you interacted with these sorts of demos. But it's not necessarily intuitive, and people don't stumble across it naturally. So for that reason, we had to put this text at the beginning of every video, which isn't very nice for immersive experience. When we work with stuff on mobile, then we can use the gyroscope inside of it and look around in all the directions using the gyroscope inside the mobile device. But that's on a small screen, it's arm's length, and your arms start to get tired if you're doing this all the time. So this is where virtual reality has just shined, obviously. Close to your head, you can look around in all directions, and you don't need to worry about it. I didn't bring my Oculus in here, but you can see this is what it would look like if it was in Oculus. Bringing in the gyroscope, you would then be able to look around in different directions. So I'm going to switch back to this view, and I'll take you through a little bit of what we do here and just play you our showreel now. So all our software is available for free online to download for non-commercial use. And you can download the videos, view them, try them out yourselves. We have an iOS player, Android player, and a web player. In addition to the desktop players for both Windows and Mac. We're also coming out with the DK2 release fairly soon. The videos you're seeing here are actually only in 720p, I think, or maybe 1080p. But our camera can shoot in 3K, and we have cameras that can shoot in 4K as well. that's enough of that. So as you can see, there's lots of different content types that we can produce at Total Cinema 360. And I'd like to first just talk about live events. Whether it's a concert, a theatrical performance, or even a wedding, events shot in 360 allow you to feel like you're there. As opposed to standard media, 360 allows you to control where you look, and you can even change your camera locations in that sort of at the event. This obviously was taken from a concert we did in Central Park with Disclosure and Sam Smith. But I got married back in March, so of course I chose to shoot the wedding in 360. So then I could go back and look at things that didn't need to worry about someone not being in a shot, because you just put it right there and it was all around you. But beyond our live action content, live event content, we also create 360 narrative content. I like to think that our narratives lie somewhere in the space between films, video games, and theater. Films provide the foundation for a visual narrative. Theater is added to the mix whenever you have a camera that can't hide the crew and can't rely on the reaction shots and jump cuts that are part of media today. And then video games are added when you have to interact with the media itself. I actually think the most interesting area for us is in the direction of video games. By adjusting the story depending on where you look, it becomes more like a choose-your-own-adventure story. So if I look over here, I hear one set of content, and that takes me down one storyline. If I look over here, I hear a completely different one. Also, point-and-click adventure games and rail shooters map easily to 360 and can be different types of video games that are used there. So I could go on about content type, but I'd also like to talk about two unique features of Total Cinema 360. 360 sound and guided view. Sound is crucial to providing an immersive experience, especially when you have a 360 area to look around in and you need indications of where to look. So with standard media, you have a screen in front of you and the sound is pre-rendered for you looking at the screen. Even with surround sound, it's dependent on you looking forward. But with 360, you have to change, you have to adjust the volume, especially if you're wearing headphones. If you turn this way, you guys should be in my right ear. If I turn this way, you guys should be in my left ear. We call this 360 sound, but it's also called directional sound. Using this feature in a narrative, we can create audio hotspots and Easter eggs. So let's say someone's on the phone in a scene and you look at the person, you can hear both sides of the conversation then, and you might catch a piece of detail that you wouldn't catch otherwise. Or that might be another one of those cues that puts you down a different storyline because you understand what's going on there. And just come see me at the booth if you want to see an example of 360 sound. The other feature I want to talk about is guided view. For some of our users, they really want the immersive experience and want to be able to look around in all directions and control everything. But for others, they just want to sit back in their chair and get the content right in front of them. For that reason, we created guided views. So you can still turn your head and look around, but the main storyline is always right in front of you. So you might miss other things that are happening behind you or other storylines, but you can always see that content that's right in front of you. But this goes beyond just that one view. We also, when we distribute the videos online, people can create their own guided views and record those and distribute to their friends. So let's say you found an Easter egg and you want to share that with your friends. Using your mouse and keyboard or an Oculus, you can record that view and then distribute it to others to watch back, which creates more of a social experience. And that's what the future of Total Cinema 360 will probably be. We plan to launch a social VR website for 360 narratives in early 2015. It will allow you to share 360 videos, stream 360 events live, so that could be like a concert or it could be something as simple as a radio show. And you could create your own 360 narratives right on the site. So if you want to create that choose your own adventure story, you want to create that 360 sound space, then you can still do that online. We're also interested in integrating Unity into the whole upload process, and you can upload your own web player Unity sort of stuff, so it's a little more video game content than previously was there. So that was all I have. Thank you. And yeah, we're hiring soon, mostly front-end and back-end developers for our servers. So if you're interested, come see me, talk about that stuff, and feel free to go to our website and contact me. That's everything. Any questions?
Will there be adults-only section on your website?
Sorry?
Is there going to be an adults-only section on your website?
So far, we have steered clear of adults only. We think that's going to be a very lucrative area, but I don't think we're exploring that at this time.
Okay, so can anybody do a 360 360 and upload that into your website? Is that possible?
Yeah, so so people can upload their own stuff is the plan. We'll have ads available that people can attach to that to get ad revenue, but we'll also be able to, people can charge to see that content if they would like to. So for live events, if you want to charge for a ticketed event like a concert, then you can buy the ticket in advance and do that sort of stuff.
Are you currently licensing any of your proprietary IP?
Yeah, so all our software is available online for download for non-commercial use, but every one of it is available for licensing. So that's our desktop player, our web player that links with our mobile player. So if you click on a video, it opens up in our mobile player, and also a Unity plugin that allows you to bring this stuff right in Unity.
So if I have a 360 that I built and I uploaded that to your website, and then I filmed, let's say, a different piece of video with a regular camcorder, and I want to upload that, but I want to position that inside or as a proper overlay to the 360. So let's say I did the 360 in a racetrack, and I got the entire racetrack with 360. Then I am videotaping the car racing in the racetrack, car number 5, whatever. And then now I want to overlay that as a frontal layer to the entire 360 racetrack that I uploaded on your website. Can I do that? And do I need programming experience to be able to do that?
So that's one of the reasons we want to create these 360 narratives on that. So yes, that's one of our goals, is to allow you to composite different 360 and 2D pieces of media in order to create these narratives. Right. But Unity is also probably the best way of doing that right now.
So I would have to keep sorry.
And we can talk afterwards about all this stuff in the future.
Do you have hypertext capabilities right now built into the video so we can click places to get to other videos?
Yeah, so for a lot of the live events that we're doing, we have multiple cameras set up. So of course you want to be able to like jump to above the stage, to jump to the audience, to jump to all those sorts of things. So yeah, it's about putting those hotspots in there so people can mouse over events, see those things, and then jump to those locations.
How do you handle audio?
So right now we have 360 audio, which is recorded from directional microphones pointing in different directions, and then we have a proprietary TC1 format that takes those audios and gives a direction to each one of them, and then applies pan, volume adjustments, and equalizer adjustments depending on how far they are away and what sort of scene you want to compose.
Do you need special equipment to listen to get those effects when you reproduce?
Oh, well, since we control the software for our desktop player, web player, all those things are built into those stuff for us. So you can just put on some headphones and you got your 360 sound. Regular headphones. Actually, I can show you the demo over in the presentation.
In order to play it in a web browser, do you need to load a plugin, or will it go?
Right now, we do have a plugin for Oculus, but both Firefox and Chrome are supporting VR natively very soon. And so you can actually just integrate those things and you don't have to download a plugin. So Chrome and Firefox will have this automatically built in. And so we just have to support then Chrome and Firefox and add the JavaScript for that specific application. Any other questions? Great. Thank you.